driving, teeth start grinding, attempting to counter 10, can't keep timing. Boat race starts to screw, now no hiding. Sweat running down my brow, almost blinding. Part of me was reasoning, now can't find him. Can't control body now, walls I'm climbing. All I know's I'm gonna blow, don't wanna hear facts. Best just get out my face, I'm about to react.
It is Devastating Rhyme Specialist, my man, DRS.
Yes, bro.
Bless.
Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be here.
Good to see you. Well, let's go back, man, where you started from, because like I said before, man, I was checking your CV, your resume there, and you've been around for 15 years plus, so tell people what's been happening, man.
Boy, we'd be here all day if I told you what's been happening, but yeah, a summary. The first person I ever MC for was Marcus Intellects in a club, an old jungle hardcore thing. We made a little link. I moved away because my girlfriend was from down south, Bournemouth. I moved down there. There was no MCs down there, so I started like sort of donning the south coast. Then like I was meeting all these, you know, your Goldies, your Fabios, your Bookhams, and there was Fabio was saying, "Do I want to come and do a thing?" and Bookham was saying, "Do you want to do a thing?" And it was just like, "Oh, I'll just do a few gigs with Bookham," and then I ended up with Good Looking Records and releasing and recording with them for like, must have been like 3-4 years or something. That period came to an end. I came back up north to Manchester, linked Marcus again, linked Strats. We got on the Broken English thing. Yeah, and then really that's getting back to where I am now. Obviously, I collaborate with in the meanwhile and all them years. I've collaborated with so many different artists and genres, and because you know I'm a music man at heart and I love all different kinds of music. So yeah, that's pretty a summary. Up to today, I touring with Toddler T and the Toddler T Sound with Shola Amma and Cersei. I tour with Caliber and Marcus. Obviously, I've got the album coming. We tour with Broken English, Skittles, and the Estate Recordings thing. So yeah, and we've got the T-shirt companies. I've got fashion things. You know, it's a lot, man.
Popping up, like it's popping up.
Yeah.
So what started you with MCing? Was it? Did you start like DJing? What was the influences behind you MCing?
Really, I wanted to be a DJ, but my mum couldn't get me decks for Christmas. We couldn't afford them, so I thought a pen and paper's probably a bit cheaper and a microphone. Do you know what I mean? And then I thought I'll get to DJing afterwards. But obviously I do DJ and that. But obviously the MCing and the microphone thing, you know, took off for me. So I didn't really have time to concentrate on that. Obviously I produce and stuff, but that was more important to me at the time.
So what was the link ups there with, like you're saying, with Good Looking Records, and how did that actually come about?
Really, it was just I was a resident at a small club in Bournemouth when I lived down there at the time, Club Extreme. It was like every Saturday. So every Saturday night we'd have like I say, it'd be a big drum and bass name, no matter what the style it'd be, you know. And at certain times, Bookham was down a lot, and at the time I didn't know, but they was looking for, you know, a host MC or whatever. So, you know, I remember just getting a call out of the blue on my phone. I answered it, and it was, you know, some Cockney guy, and it's like, yeah, we've got a gig in Amsterdam. We wondered if you wanted to do it. And I, you know, obviously I like to get relaxed, so I was like, yo, yeah, Amsterdam, yo, and you know, I'd love it. So I went and did that gig, and then it was another, and then you know, I ended up signing to the label, and yeah, all that stuff. So yeah, it was.
Like tracks like Constellation, for instance, which is like, was it very fitting to what you were doing then as well? Because even though it was very unique back then, especially with the down tempo sort of style there as well. Was that very much what you was doing anyway? So it was kind of a lock and key sort of thing. Yeah,
definitely. It was just, you know, at heart, you know, I'm a hip hop MC, so, you know, before anything, and I'm listening to hip hop all the time, no matter what I'm doing on this side of things, or so, you know, it was just like I was recording stuff at home and there, but like when obviously Bookham got that beat together, and he was like, yeah, you know, it was easy. It was just like I felt comfortable to do that, and I think you can hear that.
Yeah, without doubt, was like when I was listening to it, you know what I mean, it took me back, you know what I mean. It was like I said before, it reminded me of Gangsta Above the Clouds, you know, that sort of rhythmic jazz sort of feeling. The words are just ebbed and flowed. It just wasn't like rah, 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 you know, we're all in your face. And I thought, yeah, man, that's really is relaxing to hear. It's refreshing to hear that sort of thing. So was that very much always the mindset of DRS, is to be on like them sort of like the jazz sort of things, but also like that tunes like a bit more sparse as well, you know, the drum and bass sort of beats, because even though they are drum and bass tempo, it'd be really hard to define it as a drum and bass tempo, especially with your lyrics on it. So was that something that you either worked to, or is that always been there?
No, it's always been there, because I'm just, you know, I'm just wide and varied in what I listen to. And you know, like some people, you hear of like an MC from a hip hop MC jumps on a house tune. You can hear that. You know, that's not his world. You can hear that he's just visiting.
It's like the opposite way around as well.
Yeah. But me, I'll never jump on a style of music or a beat that I don't understand. You know, that I don't know. You know, I haven't heard before and know the vibe of, because you know, if anything, I like to. In my works, anything it's honest, and I like that to come across, and I want, you know, when people hear it, they might think, Rolaz, I didn't know he does that kind of music, exactly, but when they hear it, they think, you know, it sits in, or you know, it's nothing. I don't like doing it otherwise. Do you know what I mean? Because some people just jump on any beat for the link or for the exposure or whatever. But yeah, just I'm all,
just stay true to you.
And whatever style that is comes under that banner, then that's what I'll be on. Do you know what I mean?
So let's talk about like what's going on now, right to this day now with the state recordings and everything like that, because it seems like, you know, we're state like with Marco, you know what I mean, no success with you for Marco and there, you know what I mean, and you know, all these tracks coming up with Fox and things like that, Chimpo, you know what I mean, these things are really taking shape and form. Was this like was this always the plan?
Yeah, definitely. We've had the state recordings, is, you know, as a label, is nearly like 10 years old or whatever, you know. It's been, you know, but it's been building blocks, and you know, just getting forward and getting ourselves as artists and as a collective, getting the right collective of people together to a strong enough point to launch it on, like, you know. And we've been looking at, you know, your Hospital Records and I use them as an example because it's just an organisation. They have the night, they have the brand, they have the, you know, everything's just bam, bam, bam. When it comes out, you can buy it here, or you can, you know, and that's what we're looking to do, because, you know, we were saying off camera before, you know, the organisation of you know, the UK hip hop or dubs, you know, dubstep's a bit different, but like, you know, drum and bass and stuff, it's this whole mentality of friends, and you know, we don't need a contract, and we don't need that, and we don't, and you know, and all these little backhanders and there, and that's why no one ever gets paid. Do you know what I mean? It's just, that's, you know, them days are gone. So we're just moving towards being that, you know, on the level business, you know, that putting out good product. You can access the product, you can access the artist, which is another thing we like to do, where a lot of labels don't. You know, we have little things, and you can, you know, we're always about to speak to or whatever. So, you know, that's another thing we try to do. But yeah, just the aim for a long time is to get the brand right and get a buzz about it, and it, you know, it's happening at the moment, and we've got a lot of good product, like you mentioned, Skittles, Chimpo and Fox's project called The Eyes. A new Broken English album. You know, there's so much stuff. There's so much stuff to come. Clothing lines, skate companies. You know, we're on it.
I didn't realise you kicked the skateboard as well. You kicked good as well. You know, I was like, okay.
First name D, second name RS. Ill with his wordplay. Well, that's your guess. Testing broken English. Yo, that's your stress. Finally got his act together. Well, that's progress.
And that leads us nicely to your album. What I don't usually like MCs, but Now, like we were saying before, me and Adam, yeah, with this sort of show, it's very, it's always been the focus on producers and DJs because, no disrespect to any MC whatsoever. Like I said before, I hear the music before I hear the MC. It takes me a while before I hear the MC. So the actual title there was intriguing enough. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, like over the years, it's probably the most common thing that people say that will come up to and say to me. So when I was thinking about album title, it was already on my mind. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, and it's funny the things they say after it. There's a few favorites, but it's usually like, I don't usually like MCs, but you know when to shut up, or you know when the drops are, and you don't, it's a bittersweet compliment. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because I'm from the north and like everything, you're getting slapped with honesty, but all day. So that's nothing to me. Other people that'd probably bend their ego, or
Yeah, of course.
I love that, so that's why I went for that title, and I think it's a play on the people who will think, oh, an MC has done an album before they even listen to it. It's like, you know what, he's thinking about this, or it's worth at least a try. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm hoping, yeah. So
because soon you say the title, I thought, you know what I mean, I can understand that straight away. So tell us who's on the album, what producer you've been working with on this album.
There's like the obvious ones, like there's a couple tracks with Caliber and Marcus, a few things with Dub Physics, a couple Lensman tracks, a couple tracks with Spy, Genotype, who else is that? Lynx, I think that was D-Bridge.
Yeah, right.
I think that might be it, but if I forgot anybody in mind, enough love, do you know what I mean? It's no diss.
So what was it? Is it very much the drum and bass focus once again, the drive, or have you got?
No, it's like I think there's like 14 tracks on there. I think there's like 5 or 6 non-drum and bass tunes, but obviously by drum and bass producers. But yeah, it's predominantly drum and bass because I don't want to confuse anybody. It's like people, it's weird, but like an MC or a vocalist will do an album, and they'll do like an R&B album or something, or and have a couple of drum and bass tunes on there, or because they see that as their platform to get into something else or whatever. But I'm not looking to do that. I just wanted to document, like you say, over 15 years of trudging about in motorways and there and smashing different raves and festivals. I just wanted to stick my head out the water at least once and just say, look, rather than, because you got to imagine as well, all that time it's like I'll be stood next to a DJ, different DJs, but it's never like putting yourself out there and just saying, look, this is actually me. True. So it's a refreshing and it's a daunting thing, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm just ready for it now, do you know what I mean?
So you reckon it's taken this length of time to be in this, not this position, into this confident enough to really portray yourself now, like, listen, this is who I am, this is what I do?
Yeah, it's not really a confidence thing, but it's just like, I just think I just want to document this point of my life, you know what I mean? Because like, obviously, I'm not going to stand up and be an MC in a club with a DJ or do this stuff forever. I might produce, or I might, in some different guise, but I'm not going to do that forever. I think like, and people who do that, it's like, I don't want to be them guys who are holding the next generation of people down. You know what I mean? It's it's a limited space, and like there is people out there who, for as long as they can rinse it, they will rinse, what they did 20 years ago or what, whatever. So I'm not that guy. So I'm just doing my thing for as long as I feel comfortable to, and then when it's not, I'm gonna do something else. You know what I mean? And I'll always watch what's going on, and always have obviously my friends and my links in what's going on. But yeah, I'm not that guy. I just wanted to, like document this time and the time that I've spent doing what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's that kind of it's like the appreciation for what you've been through.
Yeah.
And it's your chance to give back.
Yeah, definitely. Not intentionally, but that's the way it's ended up. It's just like, it's kind of an offering for what I personally have got out of you know, the music thing or whatever, you know, it's, yeah, if you put it like that, it's probably right.
Legend of the deep side, North man protest. Couldn't give a rat's ass, that right, oh yes. Never will surprise yourself if you make no guess.
Let's talk a bit about the solo projects as well, like you mentioned before. Skittles doing his thing, Fox is doing his thing, you know, I mean, you're obviously there with Broken English doing your thing there. How is it transcend, you know, while you're doing these different things, but all of it's very much a single unit under Estate Recordings? How do you manage to balance something like that? Being the boss as well.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's a kind of a union at the top of Estate Recordings, and it's like everything has to go past everybody. It's like, you know, it's a kind of solidarity thing. So, you know, sometimes it makes the process slower, but when something comes out, it knows it's got everyone's stamp of approval,
of course,
and everyone's 100% in their heart will back it because you know, they believe in that, and that's what we, you know. At first it was just like me and Strats was like the label, and then like Skittles and people, and we thought, you know, this isn't fair, and how can you expect somebody to put their heart and soul into something that they have no, you know, you might, because if you don't sell anything, you don't get anything, do you know what I mean, or whatever, and it's just like, we, you know, we don't believe like that. We've got sort of a family mentality where, like I say, if you're involved and you show that you committed to it, there's no reason why you don't get a piece of the label or whatever, or there's no reason why, you know, you can't be an owner too, and like we can't all eat off this, do you know what I mean? Because that's the mentality. And I think if you look at every big independent label in this country, apart from a couple that are still going, even like Good Looking Records, do you know what I mean? If they would have kept their artists happy, think how big that would have been, because it was like at the height of it, it fell apart. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, you know, even when I think of that now, it's a sad thing to think, just like, because you know, business things aside, I loved that music and I loved, you know, what was going on at that time, and like, so I've always got that in the back of my mind that, you know, if you keep your artists happy, the label's happy. That's what I'm saying. And people, and like I say, you know, people will give it their all. Do you know what I mean? Because you know, it's all right me being on a label in London. It's the biggest label, but you know, when I've got a problem, I can email them. If they don't answer, I can ring. If they don't answer, that's it, innit? But like, you know, if my label's in my home city, you know, I can just go and bang on his door and say, yeah, when's my tune coming out? Or, you know, that's more the position me and I know a lot of people in Manchester or in the north of England would like to be. So we want to, you know, obviously we want to be a mini major, or we want to, you know, and you know, people might laugh and things like that, but you know, why not? Who is it? You know, who else is doing it?
On the real, these no flash in the pan. Me and music go together like hoods on a gang. Turning up temperatures, we're cooler than fans.
So let's talk a bit about the future now. Future for DRS. Were you interested in other styles of music? Would you bless that form of music? Is there anything that in the pipeline right now, for instance, it could be a bit different?
Really, just I'm concentrating on the album coming out and videos, and you know, getting the tour together and merchandise, and you know, just the things that I've always wanted to do. You know, I'm just like, that's what's going on at the moment. Obviously, like music wise, there's new Broken English material. You know, loads of stuff from Estate. I do the Toddler T sound. Been recording with Toddler T as well. Yeah, just, you know, there's so many things going on, like I was saying, clothing lines and this and that, you know, but there's too many things to give people to try and look at, do you know what I mean? It's just, yeah, they're gonna come out one by one, and like, we don't want, you know, anything to overshadow anything, so we're very wise. Like, my album's coming out, so we held back with Estate for a minute, you know, even though the album's on Solar, it's all hand in hand, and you know, the promotion off the back of my album could help this artist do features on it, and so, you know, it's a game of chess, and you know, yeah, I'm just looking to play for a bit longer, do you know what I mean? And just take, you know, get the album to people and hope it you know, it manages to make people feel the way it makes me feel when I listen to it, because obviously after all, I can separate myself and just be a fan of music and just, you know, listen to it. And you know, I'd like to thank Bill Physics because he was like executive producer and mixed down a lot of things in the end and recorded 99% of the vocals and stuff like that. And you know, without him, I don't think I would have got it to sound how I heard it before we made it. Do you know what I mean?
True.
Yeah. So
enough respect to Bill Physics.
Yeah, blessings, brother. I love you.
So man, that's one more question to tell the truth now.
Yeah, cool.
The tour. How's it, what we're looking? We started the tour yet?
It's
2013. I see you reading that.
Yeah, the tour. We've got a few dates, like a few warm-up dates and launch parties. I think it's the 25th and 6th of September. No, of August. Sorry, we've got a London launch party and a Manchester launch party. We've got a warm-up gig in Nottingham. I can't remember the date, but if you check at DRS on Twitter or something like that, or MCDRS on Facebook, the dates will be up there. The tour, we've got a launch party in Sardinia at Sun and Bass in early September. We've got sets at Outlook. Yeah, me and my agent were just getting together a tour and trying to pick the right venues, and you know, because I don't want it just to be the usual thing. I'm trying to, you know, but budget-wise and until people see what the actual tour is, it's hard to get people promoters to cut part with the money. So, you know what I mean? It's just
true.
You know, so which I'd be the same too. So yeah, we're just gonna smash up a few venues and then get a proper tour together later in the year or the beginning of next year. But yeah, just grinding really and just try to push a state in the album and everything, you know, to as far as we can get it.
Well, enough respect to you, brother.
Blessings, mate.
Manchester, that's home. Broken English, the gang. Love to turn a party out. Let the rhythms just bang. Don't matter if I drop bars or even if I just sang. If you can't let go, that's okay. Just hang as long as you feel it. That's enough for this man. Have you got the stamina? Can you go the distance?